Hi, mamas and friends. It's Sarah from Late Night Coffee Moms. I'm not even going to try to point at my sign because I get it wrong all the time. It's Monday, which means it's verse of the week, and I'm just going to, hello, and I'm just going to do a couple tiny updates for you guys real quick. First of all, we have less than a week left of our 90-day challenge for our reading through the New Testament. How are you guys doing? We, according to the chart, are behind, but we might make it. We might make it. If not, we'll make it a few days afterwards. I know. Yes. It's pretty sad when you make the challenge and you can't keep it, but the whole focus was to get us used to purposely and intentionally reading God's word again every single day together as a family and separately and all kinds of stuff. So with that, it's fulfilled its mission, right? So we just have Acts left to go and Revelation. We're halfway through Acts and then we have Revelation. We've completely jumped off the schedule that I initially made because we got behind due to illness and craziness and just forgetfulness. So we jumped around a bit, and so all that's left now is I think we have 10 chapters left of Acts and then Revelation. So it's possible to fit it all in, but I'm not sure I want to rush it. I really want us to absorb it and not just push through it. I think we do that too often in our own independent studies, at least in my household, not claiming to know yours. So that's the first thing, is the 90-day challenge update. And for my YouTubers out there, hello, make sure that you're liking and subscribing so I know that you're there and you can say hi. But also, I'm going to stop waiting a week to publish these. You're going to get these the same day or the day after they happen on Facebook. So yay for you guys. That way when I'm giving you information about things like the Homeschool Moms Conference, you get it at the same time so that you can get to it and you don't have to count the days and see how long it's been since I was talking last. All right, so that means this week you'll be getting double the videos, but next week we'll go back to normal. And you'll just get the videos as I do them. So I'm happy to have you along too. And if you want to ever join us on Facebook, it's at Late Night Coffee Moms. It's the page on Facebook, and you can join us for lives. All right, so today is Monday, and that means it's the verse of the week. Yay. One of the devotional, I guess, websites that I follow, and I've talked about them briefly before, is the flourishgathering.com or gatherings. I got to look that up. But they have a lot of devotionals, and they'll have Facebook groups for each of their devotionals where you get like videos and help digging into God's word, and you are able to comment back and forth with each other on these groups, and they're really great. But they take reading the Bible at a slower pace, and they actually do in their devotionals, they will have a verse of the week, and you're going to meditate on this verse all week long. Now, when I'm joining you guys, I'm just giving you a verse of the week because I figure there's no better way to start our week. It'll get us focused. And whenever I do that, my week tends to not reflect, but I can see how necessary for me that verse was. And I'm hoping that happens for you too. So today our verse is John chapter 17, verse 20. And this comes in the middle or almost the tail end of a prayer. And this is Jesus. He is praying. And it's nearing the end of John. So it's nearing the end of Jesus's life. And before his crucifixion. And then he comes back. Yeah. So he's praying. And again, there are so many important parts to this prayer. So many parts of this prayer can become a sermon all within themselves. But I have favorites, and I'm going to share that with you guys. Please, always, YouTube, Facebook, feel free to leave in the comments your favorite things, or if this has helped you, or what you would add. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Sometimes people will message me privately, and that's completely cool. Go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But otherwise, if what you have to say isn't private, go ahead and leave it in the comments and encourage another mom along. Okay, so here we go. John 17:20. Jesus is praying for his disciples, and he says, he's listed all this huge stuff, okay? I do not ask for these things alone, but also for these alone, but also for those who believe in my words. In totally slaughtering this, let me start over. Okay, so he's praying, and he's praying for his disciples, okay? And he says, I do not ask for these alone, meaning the disciples, but also for those who believe in me through their word. That's us. If you are reading the New Testament, if you're reading the epistles, if you're reading the Gospels, and you've come to believe in Jesus and you're following him, you are doing so as a result of the disciples' teaching. Yeah, we're many generations away from that. But in this section right here, Jesus is praying for you. He's praying for me. He's praying for you. And he's praying for our children and our great-grandchildren and so on and so on. I love it when I can catch, he does this so many times, but I love it when I can catch Jesus getting personal with the future people, with people who aren't there right now touching him, right there eating the same meal as him. He gets personal. He goes out of his way to make sure we know that we're not forgotten, to make sure we know that this plan is for us too. And he's talking about a whole bunch of things in this chapter. And I want you guys to go and read the chapter for yourself and see what he's actually praying for you. What things he's asking the Father to bless his disciples with, but not just them, for all of those who will believe in him through their words. Who's going to believe in Jesus? Because of your words, your actions. We won't ever really know everybody until we're all together, right? Until we're all unified with him. We won't know for sure. We can have some guesses, hopefully your children, right? Hopefully your spouses, hopefully your family and your loved ones. Yeah, those would be big yeses. That part, maybe not all of you, but maybe part of your influence helped plant a seed that God watered and helped grow, right? But what about that guy at the grocery store who was going through a really hard time that day and you smiled at him? I know that seems small, but for some people, I don't know, it seems like our world is getting lonelier. And people make eye contact less often, and people reach out and touch each other less often, say thank you less often, say please less often, acknowledge each other by name, just say thank you to the clerk. You don't know when the last person was to thank them, and you don't know what's going on in somebody's day, that you can impact them for eternity just by being kind. Because you don't know, they could have been having a personal struggle with the Lord right then that day, and they feel like nobody cares about them, that they've not seen one happy person. There's nothing worth living for. There's no point to everything they're doing, and then you happen to make eye contact with them and smile, and God uses that to reaffirm them for just one more day. That's possible. So I love that Jesus is praying for me specifically. He doesn't say Sarah, but I believe because of the words of the disciples, because they went out and were faithful and they taught, and we could see God's impact on the world and Jesus's impact on history and the goodness that can spring from that. And then we can apply it to ourselves. So I want you to kind of just soak that in and delight in it, that he prayed for you because he loves you. He thought of you all those years ago. And he's thinking of you now. And he's thinking of you today. And I want you just to take a minute and just relish in that. That you're important enough. That Jesus took time out of his 33 years. And this is just one example. I don't think he did it once. I think he did it many times. This is just one example of him taking time away from his mortal life here on earth before he's crucified to pray for you. And then after you've kind of digested that a little bit, I want you to think about who will believe because of your words. Where's your influence at? I want you to take a minute to pray for those people or the people that might be around you that you don't know you're influencing for better or for worse. I don't know. I love knowing my God is real and that he's always thinking of me. Me, this goober woman whose dry shampoo just failed on her and whose turtle is hiding behind her in this tank. He prayed for me and he prayed for you wherever you are. All right. That's all for this verse of the week. I'm cheering you on. I'll catch you next time. Bye.